Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age.
Yeah. Woo.
So, without further ado, as we've got to get done as quickly as possible today, does somebody want to give us a recap? Although, having said that, I realised I was going to say this before the scene starts. I have got a way to write you out temporarily if we're not done with whatever scene that we're doing at the time that you need to go.
That's fine.
Right. The recap isn't going to be very long because mostly we came back, Zudor was dead, we did a little funeral, and then we talked a lot.
Yes, there was a talking montage for like 2 hours.
And then
I think it was more than 2 hours at that point. Yeah, we got some we got basically a whole bunch of quests that we want to do, and now we have a Google document that has all of that, which is nice. Of which the general gist is that there's like 4 quests that we're currently facing. One of them is the fact that there's a traitor in the council, which through some very good rolls we managed to find quite a bit of information about. Because there's this one guy in the council called Kelariis, who is likely at this point, I think, probably some sort of traitor, or he's, I was gonna say extremely corrupt, but likely more corrupt than the rest, because I think everybody is.
Yeah, corruption is relative.
Yeah. Anyway, this guy's a real bitch. Wants to make slavery easier to do, I guess. And also, we tried scrying on him to figure out more information, but mysteriously the spell failed because apparently he's immune to those kind of divination spells, which is very suspicious.
What a bitch. Very suspicious.
It is very suspicious.
But I think we kind of hit a wall on that front. There's also the quest of the Yuan-Ti and the Forbidden City. So there's the Forbidden City, which is somewhere close to Mardan, I guess?
Yes. Couple of days travel away.
And the Yuan-Ti, aka Snake People, are sort of trying to sort of unleash the Forbidden City because it's been trapped in time and space. Look,
pocket dimensions, yay!
Yeah, something like that.
It exists in a pocket dimension where time passes but nobody suffers the negative effects of it.
Yeah, and they want to not have that anymore, I guess?
Yes, they want to be free.
For some reason?
What a surprise. For some reason.
Yeah, they're fucking immortal.
Yeah, they're
immortal, but it's a prison.
Yeah, they can also never.
And so we did actually interrogate some Yuan-Ti prisoners that we took from the session before that, and we got a whole bunch of information because our rolls were absolutely on point. And so they have a little message system with encrypted messages, and they do not serve someone in the city apparently, which is interesting. And all that kind of stuff. Zudor gave his life, but we did get his journal, which is another sort of quest that we have because he had a bunch of notes on the Dread Legion, which also has something to do with the Forbidden City and stuff. And there's also stuff about a black ziggurat, which we know absolutely nothing about. And then there's the last quest, which is actually the reason why we came here in the first place, which is Krelestro, which is the spear that Kelariis is here to retrieve, which is in the catacombs underneath Mardan. And apparently the sort of entrances got blown up like 6 months ago, and stuff and things. Yeah.
I like that you keep saying blown up. They were collapsed physically by hand. They weren't blown up.
Absolutely blown up with dynamite.
Totally exploded.
Absolutely.
Look, you confirmed black powder is a thing. This could have been its destination. We don't know.
But it wasn't, because you were explicitly told that it didn't happen. That's not how it happened.
It's fine. DM mind tricks.
Wow. That's what we're at.
This is not the droid we're looking
Collapsed by hand with black powder. Ooh.
I could be a witch in this, Sam. I got rules for this shit in the book.
God.
Anyway, before we lapse into memes.
Yeah.
You are gathered in the Eye of Bahala, in your room, all looking at Zudor's diary. It has been the end of a honestly kind of stressful day after everything that happened. What
Wait,
do you
hasn't
do?
it been a few days because we did all the scrying shit?
Yes, but it has been the end of a very stressful day.
Okay.
Because you did the scrying, then you interrogated a bunch of people, and then you found the book. Well, then you got the book.
Okay.
Stressful period of days.
I guess we kind of wanted to. Oh, Grim wanted to investigate the book more, but I guess I'll have to wait till the next day. Or...
Yes, if you want to take a longer look at it, there is more stuff to learn, but it's going to take you some time.
Okay.
This is basically like you can't read his life's work in half an hour.
That's unfortunate. How inconvenient.
Yeah, you can't read that.
How inconvenient.
Can't fucking read that fast, you.
Well, I guess that will just be my whenever we have downtime project currently.
Yeah. Well, you have quite a lot of that right now, so.
Yes. Any other things that we know we want to do so far? Anybody?
Get the Google Doc.
Get the
I know.
Google Doc. My
Yeah.
Google Doc is already open.
Yeah.
What the
Yep,
bleep do we
same.
do now?
No, it's just as what the bleep do we know?
Uh,
There are no actual instructions in there, unfortunately.
It's just
Yeah.
information.
we need a subcategory. What the bleep
Well,
do we
do
do
you-
now?
My first question is, do you want to do anything? Because it's basically like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Do you want to do anything right now, or are you going to go to sleep and wait till the next day?
I think we wait till the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Have a
probably
little
makes the most
sleep
sense.
on it. Maybe we'll get advice in our dreams.
Have a rest.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
So you're all going to take a long rest.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay, you can restore any spell slots that you've spent, restock magic item charges, etc. As you go to sleep, Arya, can you make me a perception check? Seeing as you do not
Yes,
sleep.
let me open my character sheet.
Okay.
Thanks, Blair.
I didn't change my name. Thanks.
Who's Blair?
This is Blair.
Who is Blair?
You're welcome.
My god, who's Blair?
I
So,
don't know.
as you are sitting, meditating in the room while everyone else is sleeping around you, something catches your attention that like disturbs you from your meditation. In that, basically, there are a number of sort of prisms that hang in the window of your the window that leads out into the balcony in your room. And you're sitting there meditating with your eyes closed, and you can feel like a strange golden light that's sort of like playing across your eyelids as you're meditating, to the point where it distracts you, and you stop your meditation and look. And as you look, there is indeed a strange golden light playing through the prism hanging in the window.
Oh. Can I get up and look at it?
Okay.
Like, see what is causing it?
So, yeah, as you step towards the window and the balcony, it quickly becomes apparent that somewhere in the city something is not right. As you look up into the night sky, and you can see faintly that like the edges of the city are being illuminated, and what looks like a thin trail of grey smoke is crossing the skyline from somewhere in the distance.
I guess I wake the others up.
Okay. You wake
Show
up the
them
others.
What's going on?
There's stuff happening.
Yes. There seems to be some sort of weird disruption coming from the distance.
If you had to make
I
a
don't know
guess,
what's
you'd
going
say
on.
something is on fire.
It looks like something is on fire.
What direction is it from? So, like, is it like the more uptown or downtown?
It's definitely more like the outskirts of town. It looks like probably one of the market districts or the smaller outer districts.
Lyra, can you smell smoke?
Oh my god, I smell, girl.
Yes.
Okay, Lyra can smell smoke, guys. I think something's on fire.
It's probably
we
worth
go?
investigating then.
Is Timmy down the well again?
Damn it.
Look, Lyra has the best smell out of all of us, and I can
It's a-
talk to her. So
She does.
It's a good thing we have
Well,
50 feet of rope.
if you
Get
guys
little Timmy out the well.
if you guys open the window, you can smell, like, even with your inferior noses.
that's even worse.
That is bad.
In that case, we
We
should
should go.
definitely go investigate.
Question. Well, not
Have we
to
completed
like,
Unrest?
Why is it smoky?
But at this point, no.
not to be like break joy or whatever, but like this is a city that like stuff will happen. Like it's like we are not like the guard. This
Yeah.
city actually has like a proper outfit, like is properly equipped to deal
Did
with
it?
things.
Yeah, this is probably somebody else's job.
Oh.
We can look into it in the morning, except for if we think like, unless you think it's related to any of our threads right now.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
just
this.
because it's not our job doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to help.
You could definitely go and help if you wanted to. You guys are definitely probably more well equipped than the local fire department.
Just putting it out there. If you want to stay out of the sights of the council, don't be a hero.
Hmm.
Helping the local authorities is a great way to get in their sights in some way, shape, or
Damn it!
form.
Why does Grim have a point?
Yeah.
God
I know.
damn it.
Ugh.
I mean, I could
Logic.
just grab my broom and fly around a little bit and try to see from here what's going on.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, you can do that.
Just to like have a look.
Well, I guess you could go have a look.
Okay.
Don't do anything crazy.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
stand
wouldn't
out the
actu-
balcony.
Look, wouldn't recommend flying over there, like high in the sky, because if getting noticed might be a little weird. Also suspicious.
I mean, they've seen weirder things probably. I don't think anyone's gonna stop me just because I'm flying around here. Are they?
Try
I don't
maybe see if you can see anything from this sort of area. Don't try and fly towards it too much.
It would
Yeah,
be an easy
that's what I was
scapegoat.
trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely fly up to the
Right.
rooftops and get a better line of sight.
Okie dokie.
Just,
Well,
just be careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand on the balcony and see if I can keep an eye on her.
alright.
Okay.
Get on the balcony.
Yeah, you get out on the balcony, mount the broom, take off. Make me a perception check. Okay. It's difficult to tell what's going on from this far away. Something is definitely on fire, and there's definitely like a milling of activity going on nearby.
I assume it looks pretty large and not under control.
It looks large, yes, but it does, to a certain degree, seem to be being combated. From this distance, it looks like there's a small building near one of the outer walls that is on fire, but nothing else seems to be on fire. It just seems to be one building, and it's not in like a built-up residential area or anything.
Alright, well. I guess I go back and tell the others. I mean, if it seems to be sort of like, I guess the people whose job it is are handling it.
Hmm.
I don't like not doing anything about it though.
We can look. We can look in the morning. Like, if it's still going on tomorrow morning, we can head over.
Yeah. I mean, Grim does have a point. We probably shouldn't just
Yeah.
like.
Well, like it's if like I don't mind getting some good attention, but I know like you guys were heavily opposed, so I'm just putting it
Yeah.
out there.
I suppose our hands are tied, so to speak.
I don't like this.
None of us do.
Okay, so you just go back to sleep.
I guess.
Oh, this is gonna end badly. I know. The whole city's burnt down in the night.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you guys finish your long rest. Wake up the next morning. Nothing is on fire as far as you can tell, although there is still sort of like a thin trail of smoke hanging over the city. Not a big one, just like evidence that something was burning quite fiercely within the last few hours.
Alright, shall we get some breakfast and check out what the fire was, and then maybe carry on with our business?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be fine.
Yeah, you get some food. Remember to keep track of your running tab of hotel
yes.
time. I think you're on 3 days now.
No, the day it ran out. The day like ran out like yesterday, so to speak, because we have. We paid
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So actually, no. It would be 2 days now, because you've slept for 2 nights since it ran out. Because it ran out the day you were going to. Yeah.
I'll just add a resource and like make it a
Yeah.
counter.
Good plan. So, yeah, you get some food, and then are you heading down to try and find where the fire was, or?
I mean, I guess so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's easy enough to do.
I might as well.
Okay. Yeah. So you make yourself down, make your way down into the outer curtain wall of the city, and sort of vaguely follow this smoke trail back to its source. Before you can get within, like sort of viewing distance of this burnt building, basically you encounter like a road blockade of a number of guards who say, "Excuse me, but you can't go there."
May we inquire what's happened?
Well, to put it simply, there was a big fire last night, and the surrounding buildings have been deemed structurally unsafe.
Was it just an accident, or?
We're still looking into that. It was basically a storehouse for lantern oil, so it went up quite big, quite fast. But fortunately, it seems to be mostly under control. Only a few casualties, but they've been taken to the hospital.
Phew.
Well, fortunately, you seem to have things under control.
Yes, nothing to worry about.
Mm. Well, anybody else want to ask him anything?
Not really.
Because otherwise, if we step back a little, maybe like just around the corner or something, do we believe their story, or?
I don't know. It's kind of suspicious.
I mean, you could roll an insight check.
Oh, we could do.
Well, I guess we could roll insight, but I don't believe he would actually know the truth anyway.
Ah,
I
okay.
mean,
I see what
That's
you're
that's
saying.
fair.
It's like he's probably just following orders.
I mean,
it might not hurt to just try.
Might as well.
I mean, V wouldn't question him unless you prompt her, so.
Well, I
I
guess
mean,
can't-
Arya, it's just really, like, it's really a roach, right? That it was a lantern oil storage place.
I guess considering like I doubted him anyway, I might as well like do the insight check.
No, as far as you could tell, that was truthful. There was no indication that he was lying.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, is there street lanterns?
In the inner city, yes.
Also, like a lantern storage, or a place that happens to store lantern oil is not the weirdest thing,
No, but
but it is suspicious. I agree. But like, just the fact that it was a building that stored lantern oil in itself is not suspicious necessarily.
no.
And well, like it makes sense that if that is the case, like any fire would be kind of problematic.
Just a
Why-
little, you know.
But why would it happen in the middle of the night? Like, did people live there? And I don't know. Just seems like a weird time for things to go ablaze.
Yeah,
maybe
see,
they-
that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
But during the night, the most oil is burned, so no, somebody needs to restock and messed up, perhaps.
But
Or it was being
what
raided.
what was the initial flame that set it alight? Because
Well, they don't know yet.
Rob said just now that there's only lighting in the inner city, right? I'm sure that since this is close to the wall, it's not the inner city.
Yeah, but you don't want to keep flammable, like massive storage of flammable material in the middle of the city if you can avoid it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but my
especially
point
not in a
is-
populated area.
But my point is, what was the actual flame that set the whole thing alight?
They don't know yet because they don't know if it was intentional. Source was right.
And if they do, we definitely won't get it out them without some prying.
And yeah, knowing that this is a fantasy universe, you know that without forensic pathology or magic, it's going to be a hard time finding out exactly what happened.
Curses.
Joe Guardsman is probably never going to work out exactly what happened. That's what I'm
Wow.
saying.
Yeah.
But they might have people who can find out more.
Also, wait, Rob, question.
Yes.
The guard said that the building and the buildings around it were deemed
Unsafe,
not
yes.
unsafe, right? But V saw last night that the fire was contained to one building.
Yes.
oh, suspicious.
Unless it like ever so slightly spread in the however many hours that we slept for.
But V already saw that it seemed to be fairly contained, and that people seemed to be working.
I guess the question is, how far out are these roadblocks?
Not that far. Far enough to prevent you from seeing the building, but like if you were to walk past the blockade, turn the corner, you'd see it.
Huh.
So it's still oddly far out. Well, maybe there's like, I'm not quite sure as to how the guard operates around here. If it's a avoid sightseeing kind of deal, or like a we'll push the boundaries because we have something to hide kind of deal.
They may just be thinking it's better to be safe than sorry. They want to go in and examine the other buildings before they deem them safe, just in case.
More important question: what are we gonna do if we don't trust this situation? Are we gonna get in there?
I mean, I guess we can just go poke around.
Yeah, like poking around behind the roadblock is usually risky business.
It's fine.
Well, they'll still pull
Depends
out
how
at
good
you.
you are at sneaking.
Yeah, if you're like me. with a spell that ups your stealth anyway.
I'd still very much rather you
True.
didn't.
Well, I'd rather I did. I mean, it's weird, right, that the facts don't match what V saw.
Well,
So-
I guess there is one other option that would draw slightly more attention. Could you flash your badge, Vondal?
I see no reason to.
Wow.
Then
Oh.
stealth will be.
Or you could just let it go. We kind of have enough on our plate already, don't you think?
But what if?
But there's a possibility, however small it is, that it could be related.
Yeah,
somehow.
because the whole thing with, you know, with the council is that investigations into stuff with the UNT was being suppressed. So even if something happened here, there's a chance that it would not get investigated as much as it should.
And as much as it pains me to ask this of Arya, who's I think she is the best option and the most responsible choice to go have a peek.
Responsible.
And I, as the most responsible choice, you know we're in trouble.
Well, if she gets caught, she's just like a nosy, someone who's nosy, trying to go like what's it called again? Like a disaster tourist or whatever.
If you get caught, you could definitely play the foreigner card. You look the most out of place here. Actually, no. Maybe that award goes to V.
Hey, I think we both look horribly out of
Yeah,
place.
you both look like complete aliens.
Hey,
Calls it like I sees it, sister.
Damn.
Wow.
So, like,
That's
even even if you do get caught, it shouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Anything you need before you head off?
I don't think so.
I
Good
mean,
luck. Or
should I maybe go with Arya as well? Because if you cast
If you
Pass
want
Without a
to.
Trace, then we can both be very sneaky.
more people
Yeah,
is
I can
risky.
do that. I mean, it's only V, so.
That's up to you.
I think I'll go with you. Especially if we're, investigating something, then 4 eyes are better than 2.
Yeah. And I mean, if we get caught, you can like sweet talk our way out of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
Dat persuasion, which I don't have.
Okay, so how are you getting past the roadblock is my first question.
Okay.
We can try our old trick of going up on the roof.
I was gonna say,
Oh.
can we get up on the roof?
We're window cleaners.
You want to
Yeah,
bring a
window
pocket
cleaner.
this time?
And then you roll a natural 20 to convince them. It's
God.
great. This is so fucking stupid. Alright. Yeah, so anyway, legitimately, can we get up on the roof?
Well, if you can think of a way to get up there, yes. There
I mean, we
isn't
can
a
take your broom, I guess.
there isn't a ladder that will take you up to the roof, so you're gonna have to
Right.
improvise.
How crowded are the streets around here?
Around here, it's quite early in the morning, so there's quite a few people in the streets, but there are also sort of like alleys that lead around the back of buildings that you could very easily just sort of step into and not be observed.
Okay.
So why don't we step into one of the alleys? I'll cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay. Mark that off on your...
So you have
Stealth
+10 for
slots.
stealth.
Woohoo! Yeah, and then we can both get on my broom,
Yeehaw, cowboys.
fly up.
Fly up.
Stay safe.
We shall try.
Make me an initial stealth check.
Oof.
Okay.
Oh. Well, it's still 17.
17 and 34.
Yeah.
God.
Literally double mine, Luka.
Yup.
So, as you ascend to the roof, you basically get as close as you can and sort of perch on the rooftops. The immediate difficulty that you notice is the fact that when you touch down on the other side, basically at either end of the street are two guard blockades. If one of them were to turn around even for half a second, they would see you immediately.
Oh, good.
So, be aware of that.
Mm.
Okay. So can we see the building from here?
Yes.
How far away is it? Just about.
Basically, if you were to cross the street onto the other roofs, it is like 2 buildings down. There is a side alley between the buildings and the thing. But...
I'm looking for a general sort of feet measurement.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I need to look at feet in meters.
I'm thinking it might be hard for me to get in there, but if it's less than 30 feet away, Arya could just Misty step in.
Oh shit. That is a good point.
I have Thunderstep, but that's quite loud.
Yeah, Thunderstep would
that's
probably
a little
wouldn't.
Boom!
I'm pretty sure that would even cancel out my 30.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, okay. So I will say it is not 30 feet away, but you can get within 30 feet of it from the roofs.
Okay. So maybe we should try to get a little bit closer.
I mean,
And maybe find somewhere for you to like crouch down behind so you aren't so obvious.
we're on the roof.
Yeah, when you guys are on the roof, people aren't generally
Mhm.
looking up on the roofs.
Well, no.
Somebody looking from the upper city might see you and find it a little bit suspicious, but... Oh, yeah, that's a... No, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get in there with you.
Yeah.
Because I have no way of teleport. But you could definitely get in there. Wait, is Misty Step a once a day thing, or is it
Once per short rest.
Once per shirt
Oh,
rest.
shit, so it's gonna be hard for me to get back up here.
Yeah. That's true.
There's another thing I could try to get in there with you, and that is casting haste on myself and just nume the fuck in there.
Oh god.
Just
Oh,
the
God.
flash.
This does not sound like stealth.
It is though.
It is stealth.
It is.
Could
It
have
is stealthier.
fooled me.
I mean, I will point out, there's
I'm
nothing
not saying
stopping
I'm going to
you...
do that.
There's nothing stopping you flying off the rooftops, landing directly in front of the building and walking inside, other than the fact that as long as you're in the street, you're potentially noticeable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, if you think we can make it, then... Although it's kind of hard to pull the foreigner card when we're on the roofs.
Yeah.
Acrobatic foreigners.
We're straight. We're cleaning the windows.
Parkour.
Parkour. I mean, Arya could probably do parkour, to be real.
Yeah,
But-
okay,
I see that.
Okay. Should we just try to go for it?
Why not?
If you wanna solo mission this, then that's fine.
I mean, you've still got the benefits of Pass Without a Trace, so...
That's true.
I mean, I could do it. It's fine.
Alright, let's go.
Go. It's gonna end badly.
2 of you fly down. Stealth checks, please.
Oh boy. Don't fuck me now.
Okay.
You did better. It's better.
Okay.
God. Oh God.
So, the moment you guys land in the street,
Fuck.
you hear incredibly loud music from somewhere.
Oh.
Not nearby, but a great, like, sort of, it's maybe like 2 or 3 streets down. And you sort of, you freeze as you're like touching down in the street, as basically the guards who are closest to you, like at the other end of the street, pause for a second, look up, and just like, sort of just like, what the hell is going on over there? It appears your landing has been completely unnoticed.
Ah.
Okay. Whew.
Oof. Quick.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
No time to waste.
Okay, you step into the... oh wait, actually, first things first. Give me a perception check.
Oof.
Okay,
Wow. Too
so,
good.
Arya, as you turn to V to say, hurry, let's go, you notice that there's like, basically the walls of the surrounding buildings are sort of like soot blackened from the emissions of this fire. But despite that, still clearly on the wall opposite you, somebody has quite clearly daubed something on the wall in paint. And you, well, you can read this because it's in common. But despite the fact that it's kind of smudged and hidden by the soot blackening, it definitely says on the wall in paint, "You can't ignore the resistance any longer."
Oh dear. I guess I point this out to B. But we shouldn't linger. We can talk about it inside.
Okay.
Okay. So you step inside. It is... The air in here is thick and ashy, and the whole building still seems to radiate a faint heat despite having been extinguished for hours.
Okay. Well, I think it's probably safe to assume that maybe the Resistance had some sort of part in this.
Yeah.
Based on the graffiti. Alright, so I guess let's look around.
Okay.
Does this look like it could have been a place where lantern oil was stored?
Give both of you give me investigation checks, but I will tell you for free. It definitely smells like burnt oil in here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So
That's pretty good.
yeah, you guys sort of just from a like a cursory evaluation, basically there is evidence of like basically a number of like racks of storage shelves, and these storage shelves were clearly sort of like a hybrid of wood and metal, because most of the wood is like burned to ash and has collapsed in on itself, but there's still sort of like metal mounting brackets and stuff that are left that are filled with molten glass from what you presume is melted glass vials. Basically, from a cursory evaluation, somebody presumably came in here, started lighting the place up, and being the nature of what it was, it went up all of its own accord.
Gotcha.
Alright.
Yeah, it doesn't take a genius investigator to work that out.
What are you trying to say? Okay.
I'm saying you didn't need 15s and 17s to work that out.
Right. I guess, is there any more signs that this was the Resistance's doing?
None that are immediately obvious to the eye, but you don't know anything about how the Resistance operates.
That's true.
But yeah, this definitely looks like it was intentional.
Well, now I can see what that guy was talking about when he said he didn't really want to get involved with the Resistance. That this is one of their tactics, is just destroying things and buildings.
Well, I guess we don't know if this was like a targeted thing, like if somebody lived here that they don't like.
Mm.
This isn't like a house or anything. No, like it's unlikely
or like
that people
it was
lived
owned
here.
by someone who. But it would seem awfully convenient that it was a lantern store. They might just like burning shit as a signal.
One thing you know, being the owner of a lantern and having owned vast quantities of lamp oil previously, lamp oil is damn expensive.
That's fair.
So, the chances are, if somebody owned this, they were probably quite rich.
Is there any way of finding out, maybe through some like, if there's anything that hasn't been absolutely burned to the ground, like records or something, to find out who owns it?
Everything in here is ash.
Okay.
Okay. Is there like an upstairs? Well, maybe upstairs is not the best.
Most of the upstairs has collapsed inwards.
Yeah, that's what I was
You could
worried
still
about.
try and climb up, but it would be very dangerous.
Yeah, and there's probably not anything worth looking at up there anyway.
No.
The whole floor is collapsed.
From your investigation looking up and around as well, you could definitely see why the guard are saying that surrounding buildings might be unsafe, because this thing is held up by an external stone and clay framework that has been blasted by the heat of this thing. If this thing were to collapse, it might take out 1 or 2 buildings with it.
Ew. I don't know, I think the main thing that we want to find out from this place is who owned it, probably. Or, like, why, aside from probably being rich as hell, why the Resistance would like this guy so much.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can probably surmise that it was a shot against the rich people. Based
Which
on...
this whole city has quite a bit of a problem with.
Yeah. If there was more than that, I don't know, but it seems like it could just be the Resistance acting up.
Alright, well, I'm not sure if we're gonna find anything else in here. We should just go before anyone finds us.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Subplots.
Make me stealth checks as you leave.
And also, we don't want Password Out of Trace to run out.
You have it for an hour. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's for an
Yeah.
hour.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
You silently, without a trace, mount the broom and disappear.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a simple matter of touching down in an alley again, and dismounting and meeting up with your companions.
Yes.
I guess we relay what we found.
Oh, we didn't get caught.
We did not get caught. We didn't even get seen.
Yeah.
That is rare.
Thank Tom.
It is rare.
Thank Tom.
Look.
Yeah, the
Well.
Resistance doesn't seem like nice people.
No.
Looks at Kelariis.
What? Look.
The only person in the party who'd be vaguely interested, even remotely interested in the Resistance.
I mean,
I'm interested in their knowledge, not so much in their
Yes.
movement.
Well,
I mean, see, here's the thing. It could have been a good thing. But I don't know if I agree with property destruction as a way of expressing your feelings.
There are certainly more peaceful methods.
Yes.
there are, but sometimes, unfortunately, it's the only way to get people to listen. Though I don't like the fact that there were apparently casualties.
Yeah.
There is a famous saying that is, if you want to hurt a rich man, hit him in the wallet.
I mean, yes, but
Yeah, but the
when
problem
other
is,
people's lives get affected, it's
Yeah, that's
Well-
that's where the line is drawn. It's like you don't mess with the lives.
Without knowing more, it's difficult to make a judgment.
also, like, if that rich man is also the one who's basically running things, you're probably gonna hurt yourself in the wallet even more than him.
yeah.
Because all of a sudden, he's running out of money. Hey, can we get new tax laws?
But yeah.
Well, and also not to mention how many people lost their jobs
Yeah.
in that factory. Because it's gone now.
Well, there are actually more jobs for
Anyway.
rebuilding, but no. Terrible.
We're not here to debate the pros and cons of
Except
No.
civil
Yeah.
protest.
It's
Peaceful versus violent protests. No,
Yeah.
we're not.
it definitely goes a long way to showing the state of the city. That's what I will
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send a message.
So it might be a little bit more of a powder keg than we anticipated.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of tension simmering under the surface that are coming to a head.
Or well, considering we don't really know black powder, I guess it'll be an oil keg. But details.
Could still be an oil keg.
Wow.
Well, we do know black powder, and we've seen it in a keg,
Yeah.
and we know it's explosive, so we can literally say powder keg.
I mean, don't worry about using
I know.
metaphors that don't make sense, because I always assume that there is an equal translation in some other language that you guys use instead.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
I mean,
No,
Lord
but I-
knows half of the idioms in English would not make sense in, like,
Yes.
whatever fuck language we're speaking.
No,
Whatever-
but oil
whatever
keg was
common
kind
is.
of nice because the whole thing was oil. But terrible.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Anyway,
Moving on.
I guess we'll keep this in mind, but I think we should still just sort of
Carry on
stay
as
on
normal.
track with what we were doing.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna have to run into the resistance sooner rather than later, but
I mean, that
I mean,
might
we
not
have
be
no
the
way.
worst thing. I'm just saying.
Well, don't, because I don't think you're correct.
I mean, it's hard to say just from this, and we don't know what actually happened.
Yeah. Well, and then it's always tricky with these kind of things.
yeah.
Well, if they're already resorting to these kinds of methods, it's probably not best that a lot of farmers start intervening on either side, to be honest.
So, just as a theming question, I want to ask: are you just standing here in the middle of the street discussing civil disobedience within earshot of the guards, or is this conversation happening
I
elsewhere?
like to think that we
Walking.
moved
Look.
away. Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
had already
This is-
moved out of earshot.
This is a walk and
because-
talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're walking and we're talking and we're plotting.
Plot.
Well, I don't know what we're plotting, but
Because I assume our
We're
conversation
plotting
about
to resolve
breaking in-
these 50,000 subplots we have.
So my question is, where are you headed if you're walking and talking?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Uh,
I don't know. What do
oh
we
yeah,
have
we
to
were
do?
gonna walk by the palace to see what kind of what we could see there.
Yes.
Remember?
Were we?
Just to yeah, we were
Oh,
That was
yeah,
Grim's
sure.
suggestion at the end of last session. Yes.
Okay.
Just to walk by.
Just to have a
Nothing.
peek.
The drive-by.
God.
Quick, get a horse and cart,
Let's go.
Okay.
and then everyone gets some sort of ranged weapon.
It takes you probably like probably even like 2 hours to get from like the outer curtain wall to the palace district. Like it's you basically have to walk basically to the opposite end of the city because like it's smack bang in the center basically.
Bizarre. There's plenty of time to talk.
Yeah. As you sort of approach this place, it's very evident. Like in fact, you can probably see it outside of Mardan. Yeah, because basically the main council building and palace grounds has a massive golden dome that takes up the top of it, which, as you observe it from closer up, doesn't appear to be gold, which would make sense because that much gold would be an insane amount of money. But instead appears to be like a almost like a sculpted amber glass that covers the whole thing, made up of basically a what must be somewhere in the thousands of tiny triangles. So yeah, it's immediately obvious like which is the building that you're looking for as you come near, and the main council chambers are sort of like they have like a street level opening that presumably leads to some sort of entry hall into the council chambers, and then there's like a small curtain wall that runs around the outside, and then there's another building in the back that you presume is the residency chambers for council members. There doesn't appear to be a way to enter that from the street. Oh no, I tell a lie. There is no way to enter it from the street aside from a small barred iron gate that basically has a guard post stationed right next to it.
Okay. I wonder if we needed to get any like legal paperwork done or something, where we get access, because we still have something to finish up, don't we, V?
What?
Well, I offered you
yes.
to become a member, but we never actually did the paperwork.
The paperwork.
It's true.
The bane of all.
City Hall would definitely be the sort of place to do that.
I can't believe you're coercing more of our poor young innocent youths into your fucking mercenary.
He's not an innocent youth.
Look, the one was a get out of jail card, and the other, just to gain some respect.
Yeah, look.
Oh, B.
It's not OV. I'm making this choice on my own.
Yeah. She's not an innocent youth, she's an independent woman. And you will respect that, Arya Tallithsyr.
God.
Like, we could use it to get a better look inside.
Oh, that is true.
It would be a reason to go inside the city hall for at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
Vondal, for one, loves paperwork.
Well, anybody else is invited, of course, but I assume they don't want everyone just walking in if they aren't part of it.
Yeah, Arya's not invited.
Wow!
Wow!
I thought we had a moment earlier, but I guess not. Fine.
We had
It's
a moment,
fine.
but you ruined it now.
God.
Boy, dang.
So,
So much tension.
who is going in to City Hall?
Well, I definitely am going.
Me too.
I would like to go.
Okay.
Guess
I'll
I'm
wait
not,
with
so I'll just
Arya.
stand here with Lyra.
I'll wait outside with you.
Oh, and Kelariis. Okay, great.
Oh,
we'll just have
leave the
a little
chaotics
paperwork.
outside.
Hey,
Leave the chaotic.
Keep the chaotics outside of the government building.
I don't
Good idea.
actually have a scene for the inside of City Hall, but it is fairly similarly decorated to the residential quarter, which I have an image for. So it doesn't have the large golden throne raised on a dais in the center of the chamber, but
That would be a little obtuse.
it definitely has the long decorative banners and the dark granite decorated pillars that lead down the center room that basically hold up the dome ceiling.
Classy.
That looks kind of nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind living here.
Yes. Oh yeah. The other thing that you guys notice as you enter is basically you walk up to what is essentially like a circular it's like an island desk in the middle of the thing that is basically below it's not the amber dome that is the one that's visible from the outside. It's a slightly smaller one made from clear glass. Basically there's like a central island desk that has a stone statue that sort of like is the center of the island, and then there's a desk that spans around the outside of it. And much like you can see on this picture, there's these weird statues that look like a strange monster with a bizarre person riding on top of them. There's basically like a statue of that in the center of the room, where there's this bizarre, almost like you'd say it was a toad, but it has like lion's paws, and then two very bizarre. Actually, well, it's only one on this one. There's one figure in armor that has a tiny, really scrunched up face in the center of it that appears to basically be riding this weird toad lion thing. And it looks like the most ugly decoration you have ever seen.
Wow.
Lovely.
But it clearly has some sort of cultural significance to sort of be like presented proudly here in the center of this room. But most of you just walk in and just go, "What the fuck is that?"
Ah, that's really good.
But yes, there is an island desk in the center where there are 3 humans standing basically at sort of various stations within the desk, talking to a number of individuals who are within the chamber. Everybody in this room looks like they were born with a silver spoon in their mouths. Like, everybody here is extravagantly well dressed.
Boy.
You all feel very out of place, with perhaps the exception of Vondal.
I
Still
guess
doesn't like it.
I guess what I would do is I assume there are guards in the room as well, right?
Give
Or-
me a perception check.
Well, let's see. How blind can I be?
Okay.
Ah,
So,
okay.
at first, you see no guards at all. Until you notice there are little purpose-built alcoves at various points outside of around the room that basically, unless you were specifically looking for them, you would not know the guards were there. But they're basically standing in these little alcoves that are sort of like shaded and like generally sort of out of the way. And there's probably about like 5 or 6 of them in this room alone.
Well, never mind. I thought I was casually gonna ask a guard for any etiquette advice, but
I mean, you could very easily walk up to one of them, that you just walk around the outside of the room.
yeah, but I feel like these. I like in this case. I feel like it would be weird considering how they're placed. So I guess I'm just. Like, is there any clear system as to how people are being processed?
Basically, everybody seems to sit on like there's like a bench, and there's people sitting on the benches, and then when one person finishes, another person stands up and walks towards the thing. There doesn't seem to be a particular order to it, but there's definitely conflicts where somebody leaves, and sort of two people will go to stand up from the bench, and then like there'll be a moment, and then one of them will be like, "No, you first."
Okay.
There definitely seems to be a sort of like a system of hierarchy and posturing to see who gets served first. So,
Boy.
That's not going to be good. Well, I guess I will I will go over to a bench and sit on it.
okay.
And well, with someone else on the bench, and I will ask, excuse me, good sir, could you inform me of the local etiquette regarding service at this at the station at the center of the room?
Okay. So, the man in robes is sort of... He's startled for a second as he looks to his side, sees nobody, looks down and sees you, and sort of says, "Oh, well, simply..." And he points towards the desk in the middle. He's like, as soon as the assistant is finished, one of us will stand. It's usually customary to concede it to the elder.
Thank you.
The question is, do I get instant first pass by being 175?
Well,
Well, I would say thank you for the information. And I will, I guess.
he sort of says, "You are welcome," and sort of he isn't really quite sure what to make of you, because for starters you're a gnome and he's probably never seen a gnome before, and you're sort of you're there in your sort of like your not quite dirty but sort of like battle marked gear that you normally wear.
Yep.
And he's sort of like, "I have no idea who you are, but I also have no desire to ask."
I guess I will, I'll just, whenever, I assume people are coming in and out, right?
Yeah, this definitely seems to be sort of like a hub between like a number of chambers. Like a lot of people are coming in and out.
So I'm kind of gonna do the thing where you kind of wait till everybody that was there before you kind of has had a turn, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then, like, unless there's someone that looks really old, like about full over old.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand up and see if anything happens. Or
It probably doesn't take any more than 20 minutes for the room to sort of empty of people who were here before you, and then sort of you're left on the bench presumably with V by yourself.
Okay.
And then sort of like the man who you just spoke to finishes talking to whoever it is and leaves the room. So yeah, if you was to stand up now.
I will definitely try.
Okay.
And get their attention.
Okay.
I will follow so that they aren't surprised by having to look down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as the three of you walk forward, basically, like the room itself, like the majority of the room is tiled. So two of you make a hell of a lot of noise crossing this floor. It's almost impossible to miss you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get to the thing, and sort of the woman at the desk she's sort of like, she looks at all of you, considers you for a moment, and then sort of says, "Yes, how can I help?"
Well, I am looking to for papers in order to add this wonderful person to my guild. Mercenary guild specifically.
Hi.
I was hoping you could assist me in acquiring the proper documentation.
She looks a little bewildered, but she seems to sort of try and take it in her stride, and says, "Well, I will need to see some form of identification for you and for your company, as well as this young lady."
Does V have identification?
Oh
wait, you have the elven thing.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah.
Will
You
they
do.
know what that is?
I don't know.
Well,
Well,
they're
it's
gonna
better
fucking
than
find
nothing.
out.
Like it's better than nothing.
For your benefit, it is transcribed into Common, because not all of you speak Elvish, so it's possible that she can understand the significance of it, even if she doesn't know what it is.
Well, I'll just show the papers and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
okay. You present what papers you have.
I guess
Also-
V looks pretty like normal elvish right now because most of her leaves are gone, and she just kind of looks like a ginger
Yeah.
elf now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to tell. It's difficult to tell your heritage when it isn't sort of like spring or summer anyway. But yeah, no, okay. So she goes over the sort of the papers and says, "Ah, right. I see. This isn't what we're used to dealing with. I definitely think we can get you some officiation on these documents. I will need to find somebody who is free, who is capable of officiating this.
Okay.
I do need to ask a number of questions for our records. Summarily, essentially, what if any contractual obligations are you under whilst you're here in the city? Are you being paid by anyone, or are you here freelance?
Currently, we are here freelance.
I see.
Well, I say freelance. We are currently not actively seeking contracts either. We are.
No, that's quite all right. If you do undertake contract work, your employer will need to sign and send the relevant details to us.
Oh, yes.
Simply because mercenary contracting is tax deductible for the employer. I suppose that skips a number of questions that I need to ask. I don't suppose any of you have a criminal record.
Oh,
Oops.
Shouldn't have. I
Well-
definitely don't.
well, I have that tattoo that I got a while back for doing the thing. That was bad.
She looks at you.
I mean, I guess I could show her. I feel
Yep.
like I should. I feel like it's kind of rude not to.
Yeah,
Probably
you show her the tattoo. Okay, she does know what that means. Okay, so yeah, she sort of looks at it for a moment and sort of says, "Ah, this may complicate things. You will need somebody in a legal capacity to vouch for your status, I'm afraid."
Would I be capable of doing that?
No. I'm afraid we'd need somebody who has some form of legal authority, a judge or a...
Well, how about myself? And I'll present my own identification.
Yes. I don't... It's unusual for a member of your order to do such, but there's no reason it shouldn't be acceptable. I will have to double check it with the officiating officer.
And
I don't believe that is everything. Yes, so if you don't mind taking a seat again, I can have somebody come in and basically officiate that for you.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Okay. So you go and sit back down, and the woman disappears to go and fetch someone. In the meantime, I would like all of you who are in here to roll perception.
Second age, just bureaucracy.
We
Yeah.
tackled
Yeah.
economies. We talked about like the
Wait, what
pros
did
and
you-
cons of civil uprising, and now we're doing now we're doing.
Bureaucracy. Paperwork. Perception.
Who says this isn't an educational session?
D&D is highly
I don't know
educational.
but
Oh!
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect us to go this in depth.
Yeah, we're talking
we've
about like
got-
taxes and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, V and Vondal, as you are sitting here waiting for the officiating officer to arrive, basically you both look up as one of the large wooden doors, sort of like the opposite end of the hall to where you currently are, crack open, and a basically I need to do 11 individuals walk out of a side chamber, all of whom seem to be wearing it's not exactly the same as what you see in the banner detailing in the picture, but they're essentially wearing robes with tabards that have the same symbols that are on the banners in the room. Actually, sorry, take that back. All of them are wearing robes, but only 7 of them are wearing the thing with the banner insignia on them. The other 4 individuals, 3 of them are carrying ink and quills and writing equipment, and the third appears to basically be basically he is I don't know how best to describe this. Essentially, he's wearing sort of like a set of ceremonial armor, but it wouldn't function very well as armor. It's basically just like a number of plates and things that are highly decorative. And he seems to be some sort of ceremonial, like sort of perhaps like authority figure, as he basically has a what the fuck insignia is it? I suppose it would be the insignia of a sun on the chest plate. So yeah, these individuals walk out, and this you notice a number of individuals who are nearby turn towards to see this happening and bow respectfully to these individuals who sort of like nod back to them.
Okay.
Seems
I mean, I'm not gonna bow if that's what we're questioning here, but
No, they're also like they're on the opposite side of the room for you. It's just this they seem to have come in and they seem to be important people.
I guess a very important question is: are their faces visible?
Yes.
Well, I guess I haven't noticed them anyway. So
Yeah, you haven't noticed them.
so what are they doing? Where are they going?
Right now they seem to have just stepped out of the room and they're having a short conversation.
Are they close enough that I can see what they're talking about?
Give me a perception check.
oh,
Lip reading. Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
prepared for second age
Okay.
and now prepare for second age does politics.
Yep. You know it.
All at once.
So,
This is an entertaining episode.
they seem to be having some sort of conversation about a meeting that they've just had. However, you notice one of them says something to the other that catches your attention specifically. And it is as follows.
Oh, tippity tippity tap tap.
Tippity tap tap.
You know the best thing
That's
about
not that's not a good start to that sentence.
Now we can
What?
actually scry on the people because Vondal has seen them.
I can
Well,
spy on them.
Except for on the one
Well,
guy.
we can't. Yeah, we can't scry on that one guy. But maybe we could scry on somebody next to him. Is that
Well,
legal?
Well, so
Is that
these
legal?
these are 7 guys, 3 guys with riding equipment, and then a 4th guy.
like maybe a captain of the guard.
Yeah, basically one guy in ceremonial armor, 3 guys with quills, and 7 dudes in with tabards with the insignias on it.
Okay, I'm going to like very aggressively elbow both Vondal and Grim.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Can I point at the one that just got talked to?
Yes.
Be like, that's Adaya.
Keep your finger down if possible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Grim's just like hand down.
Wow.
Like, do we notice anything? Is there anything notable about him? Like,
Nothing that immediately sort of stands out. He definitely has a darker skin tone than any of the other what you presume are council members. He definitely matches the perception that you've got of him being from much further south. He's definitely got like darker skin. He's got not quite close shaven, but very very short dark hair. That actually seems to like he obviously spends like a lot of time inside because compared to everyone else who's sort of like got like slight sun bleaching in their hair, his hair is like very very dark and very very lustrous. And yeah, other than that, there's nothing particularly noticeable, other than the fact that as you watch him, he produces from inside his robe. He produces a pipe that he begins to pack with what you presume is tobacco.
Oh boy.
or could it be the pipe weeds?
Impossible to tell at this range.
Like, when you say at this range, what are we talking? 60?
Well, this is a big room, so
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, like 60 was quite big in my opinion, but
yeah.
so
I would say it's like 80 feet.
okay. No, in that case, I was thinking like if it was a surprisingly small room, we might actually be able to do something. But I assume Vondal has no subtle magic that works at this range, nor would it be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only one of you is capable of casting magic subtly enough for that.
Just got sleep.
I don't
Oh,
have sleep
God.
anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Oh no, that sucks.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been good timing.
Well,
Really?
we don't know if any of them are immune to it because that
That's
one fucker.
But that's
Not that you want to do that generally in a crowded room anyway, but
No.
oh. testing the emergency response system. But we would be questioned to hell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, no. If I would suddenly cast it, they won't know that it was us.
We
Yeah.
were in
No,
the
we
room.
still get
That
questioned
is
how
enough.
because we are foreign.
All right, fair. Anyway, are they doing anything else?
As you watch, they seem to conclude their conversations and they go in two different directions. Adaya goes with not with the man he was talking to, but with another man he starts up a conversation with, and goes out through a door to his left, your right. The rest of them split fairly equally between going through the door in the right and walking towards you as if they're going out of the building.
I think it's too long, but it's not. But we should just make note of this and move on.
Yeah, we should just keep them.
Oh, just for matters of interest, the council consists of 5 men and 2 women, by the way.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
That is
Equality.
that is
Wow.
closer to equality than I expected.
Well, yeah, that's
They
fine.
are
Closer
all
to equality than
humans.
America currently has. Wait.
Yeah, they're all
Oh, shots fired.
Boom.
Wow.
They are all human, so
Yeah.
don't praise the
That's
diversity too much.
Not
Yeah.
equality.
Not
And only
equality.
one of them
way.
isn't from the local area, presumably. So
Well, like one
not
step at a
equality.
time. Like first it's gender, then it's species, then it's you gotta.
That
you
is
gotta-
not how it went.
Yeah, they haven't even got their interracial diversity sorted
yeah.
yet.
No, don't.
Anyway.
These guys letting a dragonborn on the council.
So is the guy that Adaya's leaving with is that another council member?
Yes.
Oh, I wish there was some way that we could.
The obvious question we did. Well, I guess we already had the answer. There's no V-shaped scars. on
No.
faces.
None of them exhibit ritualistic tattoos.
I mean, they could definitely be hiding it somehow. So.
Yes.
Well, it was. I thought I might as well double check.
None of them are prominently displaying it. Oh,
And sort of this door to the left that he is going into. I assume that goes further into the building.
judging from your estimations of the way you walked around the building, if he goes out that way and carries on for a little bit, he will essentially cross a courtyard and go into the residential area.
Okay. So he's
Judging
probably
from your
gonna-
walk around of the building. Basically, if you had to make a judgment, the room they've just come out of, you presume it leads into a corridor and then will lead into the large amber-domed building. Or a large amber-domed room. The ones off to the left lead to a slightly... to your left, their right, is a smaller... Presumably, it's like offices or something, or like chambers, private chambers. And then the door that Adaya is leaving through is towards the residential.
I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't just let him go like this. I mean, there's not that many chances that we'll bump into him again.
Well, I can sign up as many people as I want, but it's gonna take a lot of coincidence. So,
Well,
Also,
if you want to do something here and now, now is your opportunity, as he will literally be gone in the next minute and a half.
Is the place that he's going through? Is it just open to the public?
Doesn't look like it.
Fuck.
No, there's nothing we can do.
not if you want to die.
You say that about everything, Vondal.
It's because most things there isn't anything we can do.
See,
That
this
isn't
time,
illegal.
look, this time
He is
I
like
agree.
30 feet from the door.
Fuck! I wish I still had Alter Self.
Nope.
Sadly, you don't have wish either.
Yeah, that would be a big help.
Yeah. Just
Alter the
I-
fabric of space-time.
yeah. I wish Vondal had seen the inside of that guy's quarters.
Nah.
I mean, I wouldn't ever do that because that would really burn through my like
Well.
uses of wish?
Act now, or he's gone.
Okay, fine. I won't do anything.
He's gone.
Huzzah.
Look,
I suck.
it's for the best. Besides, we don't even know if anything's wrong yet. Well, anything that kind of wrong.
After a few moments more, the woman comes back with a man in tow who is dressed in a similar robe to the guys who were all carrying books that came out of the previous chamber, and sort of says, "I'm sorry that took so long. We've got a lot on our plate at the moment. Yes, if you want to sort of get everything signed out now, yeah, we can get the documents processed, and they'll basically be done in the next 2 days or so."
That would be fine.
Yeah, okay, so you go ahead and sign all those documents. I won't make you roleplay
Yeah.
doing that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you get all that done. It doesn't take you more than a couple of minutes to sort of like sign everything, and then they basically tell you like, yeah, basically, you'll have like official processing of this stuff, but you can work as a member of the guild now, without, even though the paperwork hasn't come through yet, because it will get done by the time anything happens.
Huzzah.
That's great.
Okay, so is there anything else I can help you with?
I believe that is all we required for now. But thank you for your assistance.
Okay, she turns to take care of somebody else.
Okay. Well, I guess we walk out unless anybody's stopping us.
No NPCs.
No, I was also thinking of the or Vondal
Yeah.
mainly, but
No, I think we're
No.
good.
Okay. Iron Kelariis, have you stood outside for 40 minutes? Or have you fucked off and done something else?
I don't know. Have we fucked off and done something else? What else do we have to do?
I don't know. Take a stroll. That's about it.
Well, that was... Well, it's hot out in the street. It's not completely intolerable, but 40 minutes in it, you are sweating pretty profusely.
Ew.
I mean, is there like a cafe or something we can go to there?
Definitely.
I don't know
Cafe.
that. Cafe.
Yeah, this is a very nice, very upmarket sort of district. So there's a lot of sort of places to eat, places to drink. All very high class.
Is there coffee?
Yes, probably there is. This is the kind of region where you would get coffee.
Or even tea?
Or even tea.
Or even tea.
Coffee?
Yeah, so if you guys want to stop in a cafe, there is... Yeah, they definitely will serve you. They do look at you a little bit strangely because of the way you're dressed and who you are, but they will serve you.
Why gotta judge?
Right?
Because you're not human.
Because you're an elf and a dragonborn and you're wearing tatty armor.
If a man with...
the armor! Bitch, please, I'm wearing mariner's armor. I look nice.
If a man in blue skin and chainmail came into your cafe, would you look at him like strangely?
Maybe.
I mean, I'd probably have to look twice to make sure I wasn't seeing things, but I don't know if I'd say strangely.
I mean, that's the same sort of reaction that you get.
Okay. That's...
Particularly because, like a dragonborn in plate mail is a thing that very few people have seen, but it's also the kind of thing from, like, storybooks where the dragonborn in plate armor is the menacing villain in human fairy tales.
Oh dear.
Boy.
Meanwhile, there's a moon elf also with her, which
Yeah.
I'm sure is just weird.
Who has a massive shaggy wolf.
Oh yeah, right. Lydia
yeah,
is
that's
here
true,
too.
too.
Yeah.
You're far from normal. Don't be offended, but you're far from normal.
To be fair, they probably don't even get as far as Moon Elf. They just see Elf.
Wolf.
Yeah.
That's true.
They see Elf and
Well,
Wolf.
moon elves look.
Yeah.
Moon elves look a little bit different to normal, like wood elves and things.
You are
I
all,
don't think they notice.
That's
as a moon elf, you are also the whitest person for literally hundreds of miles.
Yup.
You
Yeah.
have, like,
That
the
is, like,
fucking
my
pale
everyday life
skin,
right
white
there.
hair, and like dark blue eyes.
Dark blue eyes, which
Yeah.
I'm sure only adds to the paleness.
probably, yeah.
Highlights it, accentuates it, and other such
Yeah.
words.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you guys stop, get a drink. It's not cheap here. If you want to get a refreshing drink, it's gonna set you back like a silver.
Okay. I mean, it's fine.
Y'all
Yeah,
are
I mean, we're
swimming
not,
in
like-
money.
I was gonna say,
I'm
hurting
not
for-
actually swimming in money right now, but
It's like 5 times
think
more
none of us
expensive than a
are.
Y'all are basically buying Starbucks right now.
yeah, I was gonna say this is like
Yeah.
the snooty ass.
This is
Starbucks
like
downtown.
$5 coffee.
Crazy.
Better be good.
This is why I don't buy Starbucks. This is why I don't buy coffee at
Better
Starbucks.
taste good, damn it.
It does take. I don't actually believe, because Arya, you've never been in a society that drinks coffee. Kelariis,
Yeah.
your upbringing was way too poor to be able to afford coffee. So if you guys get coffee,
Oh, boy.
this is like the first time you guys have ever had coffee, and it is potent.
Oh boy.
Oh dear. We're gonna be
And
real
I can
hyper.
just imagine your faces. It's like you're just like, oh my god, that's bitter. Good
Yeah.
lord.
Yo.
It's like, can I have some sugar?
They're gonna
Keeps-
be even more hyper than V.
Yeah, you
Hey,
got.
It's a good thing that V's in there to drink coffee.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
exactly.
Oh,
they're
no.
gonna,
Oh
they're
my
gonna work
God.
out and go, let's never let V drink this.
Okay, so you guys have coffee. Nothing notable happens until your comrades come back, and we will take a brief break there.
Nice.